Yes, it all started out as a mild curiosity in the junkyard.
There are some corners of the universe which have met the most terrible things.
Always remember, of course, not to reverse the narrative with a comment.
Shame, my dear. It seems on a moment too soon. Come on, it's good on this side.
Excuse me, I got far too much
Welcome.
A disastrous film, probably. Episode 233 of Doctor Who Time and Space, a weekly Doctor Who podcast starring me, Lewis Moon.
And me, Dr. Cool.
So, what was all that I heard?
What did you hear? What could you hear? Chaos.
And then the theme tune went like twice.
I did it. It was because I didn't even hear that. I was testing to make sure it was working live.
Well, hello guys.
Hello everybody. As you may,
So,
you carry on.
Yeah. No, you carry on.
I was gonna say to the listeners, you may have noticed that things sound a little bit different than normal. Firstly, it's quite plainly obvious that we're not both in the same room, and secondly,
No, we're not.
Secondly, we may sound like Daleks. I'm not sure, because it's always a little bit temperamental when you broadcast these things live over Google Hangouts, which is what we're doing today. Why are we not together today?
Yeah. Well, I'm very ill at the moment, sadly, so I'm just recovering, and I don't want to pass the sickness bug on to you, Mr. Cool.
Yeah. You actually sound sickly.
So
you sound sickly.
Sorry? You
sound sickly.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing this on YouTube, and obviously we're going to put it on Podomatic. But we're doing that as an easy, accessible way to do it without us being together in the same room. So.
Yeah, no, that's right. So, what my sickly co-host? What do we have on this week's show?
This week we're going to be discussing episodes from each Doctor that we would most recommend. We've both done lists. And we're going to say which episodes we would most recommend people to watch for each Doctor due to the feel and the tone of the episodes.
Brilliant. No, that sounds good. We'll also be giving a review on the Peter Capaldi episode Flatline. And actually, the interesting thing about that, before we carry on from there, is that last time we did one of these live broadcasts, I don't know whether you remember, but we were doing Deep Breath.
Yeah.
So there's obviously something season 8 about live broadcasting.
Maybe there is.
Yeah.
So
season 8 episodes together.
Yeah. Also, we are going to be looking at the latest news and views.
And we'll be doing a live, and I mean live, magic randomizer pressing to determine what we'll be watching on next week's show.
Yeah, so D-Cool will discover what's actually going to happen before me. So
you'll get that sort of great surprise of the moment.
But usually it's every other week we get a really awful episode.
Yeah, it's something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to this week, apart from being tragically sick?
This week, I've not been doing too much, actually. I mean, I don't have a way to access the new episode of Star Trek for various reasons. I did watch last week's Star Trek, though, which I think was the best one so far. I mean, it's not been the greatest series, but it's a very interesting one, I think. But it's all setting up at the moment, I think, in various different ways.
Oh, good. But you're enjoying it, are you? In a funny sort of way?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you can see my review on YouTube at Miss Lewis Moon at First Contact, and I did some reviews of that. I gave my detailed opinions on episode 3 last week, and I must inform you that I probably won't get a chance to do one tomorrow, but I'll either do one later on in the week or a joint one.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
yeah. Also, yeah.
I was just going to say, I'd imagine probably on the basis of you feeling a bit poorly, it's going to be more difficult doing doing another video tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit difficult, but hopefully I'll be slightly better tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully so.
So, also I was listening to more of my audios, my weekly Big Finish audios.
Oh yeah.
To The Company of Friends Part 2, which was Fitz's story. So basically, they have one of the 8 Doctors like audio companions.
Yeah.
Every story.
Okay. Yeah.
And their encounter with the Doctor and their story. It's quite an interesting concept.
Yeah. No, it does sound different. I do like the way that Big Finish, they regularly try different things out, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, it's good that I like that.
Yeah, it's very good. But yeah, it's an interesting release. We got to see Fitz. I don't know whether he's in any or many audios, but you know, I'm not really aware of Fitz's character, so it's interesting to hear a bit from him in this adventure.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. So how many of these are lined up?
There's
How many?
4 parts.
Yep.
Plus, there's like loads of interviews and stuff on the release. So there's like all the interviews, and there's an extra release, I think, which is the 3 companions.
Ah, cool.
There's a bonus.
No, sounds good. So
Chat with us live.
Yeah, chat with us live, folks. So what else have you been up to? Anything else exciting?
I don't think I've been up to much that's really exciting. I mean, have you?
What have I been doing? I've really, the main thing I've been watching is just catching up again with the 101 episodes of, well, it's not 101, but however many episodes of Ripper Street there are. I'm still working my way through the first series again, but really enjoying watching that again. Cracking series.
Cool. What series are you on, sorry?
Still on series 1 at the moment.
Oh, okay. How many episodes are there in the series?
Oh, cool. I can't remember actually. I think it's probably about 10, isn't there, normally? But I'm also quite tempted because I've noticed that Fear the Walking Dead Series 2 is currently on sale on the Play Store. So I might have to treat myself to that because I haven't seen the second series yet.
Is Series 3 out?
Series 3's out. I think Series 3's finished. Yeah, Series 3 would have finished in advance of The Walking Dead, which starts in about a week's time.
And there'll be a crossover between Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead.
Do you think so?
No, they've confirmed it.
Oh, have they? Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, interesting facts for you, Walking Dead fan.
It is, isn't it? You are proving yet again, as always, that you are the Oracle. That you know everything.
I am the Oracle. Yeah. So, have you been doing anything else?
Not really geekdom wise. No, I think that's probably about all to report, really. So,
Okay, cool.
So we can probably, if you're in a position to actually do so, it's always interesting when we do these live streams, isn't it? Because so much of what we normally do is based around sort of eye contact and everything, and obviously we don't have that. So we just have to go for what we can. Just try. But I think we'll probably be going for the news about now. Yeah.
Yeah, there may be a few technical difficulties, say, throughout the show, but hopefully it should work fine enough.
It'll just make it more and more charming. So let's have the news.
Yes, let's start. Yeah, let's start with the news. We have an interesting week for news this week, actually.
Yep.
We have a few more bits than we would usually have. So
okay.
We've got some interesting news. We're gonna. Sorry.
No, that's right. Carry on. Carry on.
Oh, we're going to start with a bit of news on Jodie Whittaker's series of Doctor Who. Obviously, we're going to get lots of news over the coming months about sort of what's going to happen in the Whittaker era. But we've got some news on a format change this week.
Woohoo.
So they've announced that Jodie Whittaker's debut series in 2018 will see some big changes to the show's format, according to a recent press report, which seems to be going around and it seems to almost be confirmed now. So they've said that Doctor Who will have fewer episodes when Jodie Whittaker takes over the lead role next autumn. The BBC One series will run for 10 weeks rather than the usual 12 or 13, but each programme will last a full hour instead of 45 minutes.
So is that, sorry, did you say that's an official confirmation? Or is that
No, it isn't.
Is that speculation?
It's rumour, but it seems to be becoming the truth.
Right.
Have you got any thoughts on these format changes?
I just love the idea of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm very, very keen on this. As you know, I've been of the opinion for a long time now that the episodes are too short and the length of them is probably problematic because it tends to mean that we don't get enough depth to the story or anything.
Like with Hyde and stuff. Remember that disastrous ending?
Yeah, no, I just think full stop. It just always feels like the endings are rushed.
I think it was definitely there for series 7B. Yeah,
I think even the last series it felt the same quite often, that the pace wasn't right. I think just generally with one-parter episodes, it feels that they haven't got the pace right. I think if you look at the way that the stories used to pan out in classic era over the 4 parts, where you would have had the benefit effectively of what would it have been, about 2 lots of 50 minutes effectively, wouldn't it? So whatever that is, you know, they would have had over an hour and a half worth of time.
1 hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, which is quite a good amount of time to expand the story. And actually sometimes it was a bit too long. So I think an hour feels about right, actually.
Yeah, it does. And 10 episodes rather than 12 or 13. We have less episodes. Is it a shorter run time, do you think?
What do you mean by that?
As a series, sort of like, do you think is it actually a shorter or longer run time than?
Oh, well, overall, what would that be? I mean, I guess it's probably slightly shorter, isn't it? I haven't worked out the maths of it because I'm not very good at maths, but I do like the idea. I just think 10 episodes of an hour length will provide far better quality.
I agree, yeah. Also, excitingly, Chibnall, a lifelong Doctor Who fan, has ordered a new look police box, a redesigned TARDIS control room, and an updated sonic screwdriver. One insider, yeah, it does. One insider explained, it is traditional for new showrunners to come in and shake things up, to stamp their mark on the show, and Chris is not doing things by halves. Expect something fresh and brilliant, with more of the stories travelling backwards in time to interesting historical eras as well as forwards.
Brilliant. So I think what that does indicate then is we've discussed before on the show whether or not we thought that we were going to get a single story that runs all the way through, or whether we were going to get sort of separate, as it turns out, 1 hour stories. And I think this probably indicates that it's going to be different stories, even if we do get some sort of major arc running between them.
If they're going to do story arcs, though, they need to make it work better than the last few. Yeah,
certainly the last few have been rubbish, haven't they? But I mean, we've discussed that in detail on a number of occasions, but they were decidedly rubbish.
Like the Vault and the Hybrid, they were both awful.
Yeah, no, definitely. Really, really bad.
So, previously the series featuring Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant and Matt Smith all lasted for 13 episodes, plus the Christmas special. This then dwindled to 12 episodes, plus the festive edition under Peter Capaldi. His swan song is the 12th Doctor will come this Christmas, when he regenerates into Jodie during the last 2 minutes of action. It is unclear whether the new BBC One series will be scheduled on Saturday evenings. However, as an autumn outing will again set it on a collision course with Strictly Come Dancing. fans, many of whom are primary school kids, prefer to watch the show in its traditional teen time slot rather than in peak time. The last series in 2016, no, that lies, 2017, aired in the springtime to avoid Strictly All Together. But it didn't beat Britain's Got Talent, did it?
No, and it didn't actually make any difference whatsoever, did it, on the viewing figures? Because the viewing figures were appalling.
Well, yeah, they were the worst we've ever had, I think.
Yeah, I think they were. I still don't think that's anything to do with the show. I still think that's just to do with the way people watch TV now. But
Yeah.
and I think what you can also tell is, so I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent here, but it also demonstrates yet again the difference in viewership these days, particularly the international viewership. And I noticed this the other day when we were working on our project. You know, our project
Yes,
in terms of our big database that we've been setting up.
Can't tell
because
you.
we were putting in there all the various IMDb ratings, and it made you realise that New Who, despite the fact that certain parts of it, including big chunks of Stephen Moffat's era, have been roundly slated by quite a big chunk of the Who viewership. Even some of these episodes which are really slated, like the Wedding of River Song, are really good in terms of the ratings on IMDb.
They are, yeah.
I think that shows that actually either it means that non-Geeky Who fans, your standard viewer, thinks the episodes are far better than the geekdom. Possibly that some of those ratings are coming from different audiences than this country, Britain.
Do you think the casual viewers sort of go on IMDb more to rate things like Doctor Who, or do you think it's mainly the fans of the show?
I don't know really. I think a lot of people do use it, so you are going to get a big chunk of casual viewers. You'll also get the real dedicated ones that put figures on there just to bolster the viewers. To bolster the ratings. Yeah. It's got to be 10.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Some episodes have almost got 10s due to that.
Yeah, no, indeed. The other thing, actually, I mean, again, this is a real aside because this isn't an IMDb podcast; it's a Doctor Who one. But I've also noticed of late,
IMDb podcast.
I've noticed that television series often seem to have higher ratings on there than films.
They do. The highest rated TV series, I think, is Planet Earth 2. It has 9.6 or 9.7. And the highest rated film, which is Shawshank Redemption, has 9.1 or 9.2.
Yeah, no, indeed. I wonder if anything will ever sustain a perfect 10.
I don't know what episodes of TV have, obviously.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones. I think Breaking Bad's one of the only things that gets a 10.
I think it has, isn't it? I think there's an episode with 10, definitely. But
yeah.
Okay. Anything else to add to that? I've forgotten what that article was even about now. We've gone off on so many different
format changes.
We went from tangent to tangent, didn't we?
We did, yeah. It was the format changes article we were discussing.
Yeah, no, that's right. Okay.
Should we move on?
Yes, please.
This week, it has been announced that Sharda is coming to DVD and Blu-ray, and it's been completed with animated footage as well as remastered original surviving footage that they've filmed.
Well, I think this is a really good bit of news, actually.
Yeah, so 38 years on from the release or the intended release of Sharda, BBC Worldwide has announced that Sharda is to finally be completed, combining the original remastered footage with brand new colour animation to complete the story. The animation will feature the newly recorded voices of the original cast, including Tom Baker as the Doctor and Lala Ward as Romana, performing the original script. Sharda will be released as a digital download on Friday the 24th of November and on DVD and Blu-ray from the Monday the 4th of December.
Fantastic. So it must be nearly done then.
Yeah, I
must be pretty much complete. So they managed to keep that pretty quiet, really, didn't they?
Well, there were many rumours.
Was there?
Yeah, there were many rumours, like Power of the Daleks.
Yeah.
They'd seen Tom Baker go into recording with Lana Ward, but
Okay.
I don't know whether that was.
Can I ask you then? I mean, obviously, it is quite exciting news, but would you rather this, or would you rather of them actually doing like they did with Power of the Daleks and just restore a completely missing episode? And
Because
why?
because we've had so many versions of Sharda over the years. We obviously had the original in part footage. We had the 1990s one with Tom Baker doing the little in-between bits. Then there was a fan-made animation, I think it was a couple of years back. That was, well, I don't know whether it was fan-made or official, but we've had so many remakes that I would have preferred it that we would have had an animated story on something like Evil of the Daleks or The Weird in Space or something.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think probably the reason they've done this one is twofold. Firstly, we're blessed to still have Tom Baker with us, which I don't mean to that in a horrible sense, but he is getting of that age now, and it's really great that they've had the opportunity to record that with him. I think the other side of it, the less morbid side of it, is probably also that because they did Power the Daleks with Patrick Troughton already, maybe they thought, well, let's do a different Doctor first and take it from there. So
they could have done a William Hartnell one.
Yeah, they could have done, and maybe that's what they'll do next.
Marco Polo.
In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they did a William Hartnell one next, particularly on the back of the Christmas special.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either, but it's usually in the later part of the year, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think the other thing is, of course, the Fourth Doctor is many people's favourite Doctor.
Like us.
So I think in itself, they're probably thinking that might be more of a moneymaker.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe you're right.
I think the advantage that something like Power of the Daleks had was that it was the first Patrick Troughton episode. It was the Daleks, and it was missing. So I think it had three really big selling points. Maybe something like Marco Polo, it'll have two. Well, it'll have a big thing, won't it? Which is it's a missing episode, but it hasn't got perhaps the pulling power from a non-Who fan base that, say, something with the Daleks title in it has got.
It must be really annoying if, say, they remaster it, like they animated the episode for the whole year, and then at the end of the year it comes out that it's actually been found.
It would be, wouldn't it? That would be really annoying. Well, it'd still be good, but it'd be irritating. So, I mean,
do you think they'd take the animated version?
I think you'd get both, wouldn't you? Probably available. So I know we've had this discussion on a previous podcast, but I was just wondering, what were the two episodes that you would most like them to have brought out?
Now, there's a challenging one that I'd love them to do, but it's
perhaps one for each Doctor, maybe. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's 9 parts, but I really want it to come out, which is the Daleks Master Plan. I mean, it does have 12 parts, but there's 3 parts that are still there. So I'd love them to do that, but I think it would take them a very long time to do 9 episodes. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think I would like a Cyberman one, maybe Wheel in Space.
Yeah, I'd like that one as well.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, or the Abominable Snowman.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a good one as well. What about from William Hartnell's era?
I said the Daleks Master Plan.
Oh, you did. Sorry, of course you did. Yeah. I got confused with my because I went on to a Cyberman tangent.
Yeah.
And what would I like to see from a William Hartnell perspective?
Yeah.
Don't know. I don't know. I can't think which ones are lost off the top of my head. So I haven't got you next to me with priming me with information. Oh, no,
Mostly
maybe I'll go
historic.
for the Celestial Toy Maker. How about that?
Oh yeah, that would be a great one to release. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the next section?
Yes, please. Yeah. What more news? Surely not more news. There can't be any more news other than maybe a Lethbridge Stewart novel or 2 or 3.
No, we've got details on the 10th series box set. So we've got artwork, we've got extras here. Obviously, I can't show the artwork for you. Because
So I feel exactly like the listener.
And it's a very cool front cover. There have been complaints about the price of this release. It's quite expensive, but I suppose it's worth it due to all of the special features and stuff.
And when you say it's quite expensive, what do you mean in sterling? How much are they saying?
I can't remember, to be honest, but it's quite expensive.
Was it about 20 quid sort of expensive?
No, more.
Really? Yeah, right, okay. Okay.
Double it.
Really?
And then add
that is expensive then. Because you can even get like a whole box set of, say, Game of Thrones for about 25 quid, I think. The whole series.
Yeah, it's ridiculous pricing.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi embarks on his thrilling final chapter as the 12th Doctor, joined by new companion Bill Potts and returning favourite Nardole. Fantastic adventures and terrifying monsters await the team of heroes as they journey through space and time in this latest instalment of the globally renowned drama. Expect laughter, danger, and exhilarating escapades in this final season under the helm of lead writer and executive producer Stephen Moffat. So it's due out on the 13th of November.
Okay. I bet you it comes down in price quite quickly.
Yeah, I think it would do because it's ridiculous pricing.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I bet you'd be able to find that somewhere cheaper than that.
Yeah, as well as Series 10, it has got Return of Dr. Mysterio on there.
Okay. What seems crazy about that though is that you could actually get Series 10 Part 1 for £15, Series 10 Part 2 for £15. So you could get the whole thing for £30, and then it's 50 quid for the complete Series 10. That seems ludicrous.
Because there's all the special features and stuff on this one.
Yeah, but no one really cares that much about that, do they?
I know. See, there's stuff like Becoming a Companion, Out of This World, Smile, Who's There, Ronan Monroe, Modern Classic, the after shows and the fan show. You can just watch them on YouTube, and the finale countdown. Knock Knock, Binary Sound Edition, and the Return of Dr. Mysterio, Doctor Who Extra. The finale falls, inside looks, deleted scenes, and audio commentaries. And there's also a steelbook version, which I'm dreading to find out how much that costs. Yeah,
I mean, I looked through that list, and I'll be honest, I'm not really a big lover of extras anyway, unless it's adding something really significant into it. I like it if you get it where they build the deleted scenes back into the episodes. I like those sorts of extras. But looking at this, and I've just called it up onto Amazon, and I'm looking at it now. There's nothing in there that would make me think I want to spend an extra 20 quid on that.
Either. Most of it's actually on YouTube.
Yeah. And a lot of it's, I don't know, one-time only viewing. I think I'd be inclined, like, looking at that, I'd be inclined instead to buy the 2 series separate, I think.
Yeah, I would suggest doing that. But, you know, it's the Christmas present idea.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. The other interesting thing is, looking at it, you got another one, the Doctor Who Complete Series 10, which seems to be 65 quid. Oh, that's the steelbook that you're on about.
Yeah, that's the steelbook. It's quite a nice cover.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lovely cover, yeah, definitely. But that's a lot of money, isn't it? That is a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, I just recommend buying the 2 parts separately.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, yeah, like I said, you can get the whole of Game of Thrones Season 7 for 25 quid.
Yeah.
So,
really? Oh, yeah, but that's is that short?
Yeah. You can actually get on DVD Seasons 1 to 7 for 80 quid.
What? So it's only like £30 more expensive.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Ridiculous, but you know. Elsewhere, the shooting script for Peter Capaldi's last episode as the Doctor is being sold at a charity auction. But who by? Can you guess?
Who by? By Peter Capaldi.
No, it's by William Shatner, the Star Trek legend.
Really?
He's got his hands on the shooting script for Twice Upon a Time.
Oh.
And it's going to be auctioned to raise money for the Hollywood Charity Horse Show, a charity set up by the Star to raise money to support a number of charities dedicated to helping those in need.
Okay.
Two doctors in the story, Peter Capaldi and David Bradley, as well as other members of the team, and has been donated by Mark Gatiss, who is playing the captain in the story. Online bidding in the silent auction begins next Sunday, October the 15th. The winner of this auction will not be sent the script until after transmission of the episode this coming Christmas. A full list of charities can be found on DoctorWhoNews.net.
Fantastic. Interesting news. I like that.
Okay. Yep. I don't think we have anything else of note this week.
Okay. That makes sense, because I think also on the basis that you've not been feeling great, it probably makes sense to keep it to a shorter podcast than last week's 40-minute extravaganza.
Last week's is ridiculous long.
Yeah. Okay, well, in that case, what we're going to move on to next?
We're going to move on to our main feature this week, called Recommended Who.
Good.
Good.
I was trying to do the jingle again, but I hadn't realised that the thing had turned itself off. So, would you like to introduce that again?
Yes. So next up, we're going to do Recommended Who.
Yes, Recommended Who. Right, let's take this away. Chaos, I tell.
Yeah, chaos. Technical difficulties.
I think the thing is, what people don't realise is that we have these sort of technical difficulties every week. We just normally edit them out.
Yeah, we usually do. We can on this live stream one though.
No. So, explain what we're doing then.
So this week we are going to be doing Recommended Who. So we're going to be going to each Doctor and we're going to suggest the episode from each Doctor or the story from each Doctor that we think would be best to start off with that Doctor or to watch from that Doctor for a casual viewer or a new fan or anyone really.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Should we kick off with Heart?
With Hartnell? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go first, or shall I do it?
I could go first if you like.
Okay. So, what do
so
you recommend?
my
I've never seen
my
Hartnell before. What do you recommend for me?
The Time Meddler, actually.
Okay.
The Time Meddler isn't actually one of my favourites, unlike you, but it is a very good episode. And it's got a memorable villain. And it really sums up that feel of the historical era. William Hartnell's great. And it just sums up that show. And I'm trying to exclude an earthly child here in this list. But I think so to start off on, apart from an unearthly child.
Okay. Shall I say mine?
Yep.
Funny enough, I'd written the Time Meddler as well, and the reason
really?
being, the reason being is that it's just about my favourite Hartnell episode anyway. I think the companions are really good in it. There's a really great feeling with it, and also the meddling monk is just a great character. I love it.
He is really good.
Yeah. I really like.
It's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I think probably because I remember him quite clearly from the old Carry On film, so it's got that factor as well.
Peter Buttle.
Yeah, really like it.
Yeah.
And I think also the other thing around this era, and I've not seen a great amount of Hartnell, to be fair, So
Yeah, you've got,
so this may not be a completely founded comment, but it feels to me, having watched that episode, that the first Doctor's character had been rounded quite well by this time. It had taken away perhaps some of the early spikiness, and he was a far more likable character.
he was. Do you prefer that with the spikiness?
I do, yeah, I do like it. I think he's beginning to warm a little bit. I think it's not really until you get to Patrick Troughton's Doctor where he becomes a really likable character. But
no, he is that like.
He's a grumpy granddad, isn't he? Basically,
he is,
he's slightly in this sort of episode. I think he's got to that stage where he's slightly less grumpy than he was.
Yeah, he is slightly less grumpy. For Patrick Troughton, I've gone for a story that you haven't seen, but it is a classic and one of the best of the Troughton era, and that's Tomb of the Cybermen.
Okay, certainly got some classic scenes in it, isn't it? I've not seen that. Or if I have, it was when I was really little, and I can't really remember it. But certainly, there's a lot of scenes that are very, very memorable from this episode.
Yeah, like the second Doctor speaking to Victoria with their little heart-to-heart, and the scene when the Cybermen awaken from their tomb.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think actually that the heart-to-heart scene between Victoria and the Doctor is one of the best moments in the whole 50-odd years of Who.
It is a brilliant sequence.
It's a really beautiful scene.
So nice, you know. It's the second story with Victoria as well.
Yeah. I've obviously not seen that one, so I'm unable to comment. I've gone for Enemy of the World.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we've both seen this one.
So again, same companions, Victoria and Jamie. The reason I've chosen this one is I just think it's a really brilliant story. I love seeing both sides of Patrick Troughton's character, in terms of his double that we've got. There's a lot of great Patrick Troughton episodes, I think, but I think the other ones I thought about were War Games, because it's just a cracking story, but I edged away from that one because it's the big finale.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to recommend that to people straight away. I think it's better to go for one during his main era. Watch a few before he dies.
Yeah.
The other one that I think is a real standout is Power of the Daleks, but again, you suggest I steered clear of first episode, so I have done.
I did hear that today, yeah.
But also because it is an animated one, so I guess it doesn't give you sort of 100% view of what the Doctor's like. But it's just such a great story, that one. So I've plumped for Enemy of the World.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I love about Enemy of the World. But sorry, before you go on there.
Yeah.
I love
that's fine
about the fact that about halfway through it, you discover what's really going on in Enemy of the World, and that the guy's actually got all these people imprisoned under the ground who have no idea that life's going on. You know, they think there's still this big war going on. I love that. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. So for the third Doctor, I've gone for a story we both watched, which is Inferno.
Yep.
So, Inferno is a brilliant episode, and possibly the best of the Pertwee era, but it's also one of the episodes that is a down-to-earth exile episode, which most of his stories are. So I'd recommend this one because it's a brilliant one, although it's Liz's proper final episode. It's just a bit, it's brilliant. So I would recommend this one because it's such a strong story. The concept of the parallel universe, the parallel characters like Liz and the Brigadier and Benton in the other universe and their parallels. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, I've actually gone for Inferno as well. The only reason that I thought about steering clear of it, and I decided not to anyway, but I was questioning whether it was actually a good one to do on the basis that you don't get a good idea of the Brigadier or Liz. So I think in a way in a way, it's possibly what would be no. I'm going to stick with it anyway. It's really good.
It's a
I'm going to
great
stick with it. Inferno it is, because it's just such a cracking episode.
Although Total Year is brilliant all the way through.
Yeah. Okay, so on to Tom Baker, my favourite.
Yeah, for Tom, I've gone for Robots of Death, because it sort of sums up the feel of a lot of the sort of feel for, like, it feels very like other stories from that era, like Pyramids of Mars and everything, and it just feels so Fourth Doctor-y, and I would say that it's one of the better ones to watch if you're a new viewer to the show.
Yeah, really cracking story, isn't it? There's so many to choose from Tom Baker's era, I think.
There are. What did you go for?
I was caught in two minds, really. Part of me wanted to say City of Death, just because it's a brilliant story.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and particularly on the basis that it's from the sort of latter part of Tom Baker's era, which isn't as strong as the early stuff. I'm going to go for, and I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind since we started this, because I'd written down Genesis of the Daleks.
Okay.
But that's purely because it's just probably my favourite Doctor Who episode. But I'm going to go instead for Talons of Wang Chiang.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a really great period piece. Fantastic villain. Got a real sort of horror-y edge to it. It's got Leela in it. It's pretty much got everything going for it in my book.
It has, yeah.
Supporting cast as well.
Yeah, it has got it's a really good one. It is one of the cracking ones of the Tom Baker era. Yeah,
definitely, and one that I'm looking forward for coming up in the randomizer at some point.
Yeah, it hasn't come up yet.
No. So Peter Davidson,
I've gone for the last story in his era, which is Case of Vander's Army, because it's one of the stronger ones of his era, possibly his best episode, probably his best episode, and I think it's a really good one to sum up the mood and the feel of some of the Peter Davison era, and it's a great finale, one of the better sort of episodes from his era, and one of the best of Doctor Who overall. So I would recommend Caves of Vander's Army.
And it always comes up really high, doesn't it? When you're looking at sort of polls and things around Classic Who, it always seems to come up as one of the sort of key ones.
Yeah.
I haven't chosen it, albeit that I think it's got a cracking villain in it and things like that, hasn't it? So it's definitely one that you could recommend to people. But I've actually gone for, it's a bit of an odd move, it's a bit off the wall.
Kinda.
But I've gone for kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you know I was going to say that?
Because it's one of our favourites from the Davison era. It's a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit. It's quite kooky, isn't it?
It is. It's possibly the weirdest Doctor Who episode.
Yeah, but I really like it. It's got the snaky thing in it, which name I've forgotten. The Mara. Is it the Mara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's got all these sort of like villagers and things in it. I just really like it. It's got a good feel. I love all the sort of primitive stuff that's going on.
I did almost go for this one, but I didn't in the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Colin Baker, I chose one we both watched, which is Vengeance on Varos, which is probably one of the better ones from the Colin Baker era, because it's not a strong era as a whole, but it sums up a lot of the feel. It's very 80s, and there's a lot of annoying things in it, but there's some great things and still a great villain. And yeah, we watched it quite recently on the randomizer, and I think it's one of the better ones of the era, I would recommend it, I think.
Yeah, I really like this story. I thought it was really good, and I think I'd agree with you actually, because as with Sylvester McCoy, who we'll come on to in a minute, there's a lot of crap, which as we've said on many occasions before, it's not the fault of the doctors themselves, but it definitely is the case. I think I'd have to agree with you. I think this is a really strong one, Vengeance of Varos.
It is one of the stronger ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Sylvester McCoy, that's one of the, probably the worst era of Doctor Who history, and I do loathe the Sylvester McCoy era, but I had to choose Curse of Fenric because it's quite a good one to start with. Although it does feel a bit jumbled and annoying at points, it's one of the better ones of the McCoy era, and I suppose you may need to watch a couple of other Ace stories to get what's going on at the ending, the shocking climax, and who she really is and everything, and the whole thing of the chess sets. But yeah, I think it's a rather interesting story that could have been done better, but I would say it's one of the best ones, and one of the best ones to recommend too.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I've chosen this one as well. It was quite hard work because I haven't watched a great amount of Sylvester McCoy's episodes, and although I like Sylvester McCoy, I do struggle with the whole 80s-ness of those stories. And I struggled a little bit. I struggled a little bit with Curse of Fenric, even though it was one of those stories I wanted to like more than I actually did. There were things I did like about it, but there was some stuff which just really made me cringe. I think if somebody sent me that in the post and said, "You've got to watch this great series, Doctor Who," I'd have watched Curse of Fenric, and I would have sent it back saying, "No, I don't."
What about Paradise Towers?
Yeah, I definitely if they'd have. I think I'd rather receive a dog poop in a package or something that explodes than receive Paradise Towers. To be frank.
Yeah. True.
But so I don't share the love for Curse of Fenric that a lot of people do, but I think it's the best of a poor lot.
It is the best of a poor lot, or at least the ones we've watched so far. I need to give Remembrance another go, but we'll watch that in due course.
Yeah. I'm assuming with the 8th that we haven't really got a lot of choice. It's got to be the movie, hasn't it?
It's got to be the movie because that's the only one you can recommend, really.
Yeah. Unless you included the Night of the Doctor or whatever it's called, which was great.
And the audio.
Yeah. So let's give on to the 9th Doctor.
I chose Father's Day because I like Father's Day, and it does sum up the mood of the sort of the Eccleston era. One, because Rose is used very well. We both set the message at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it is a great one because it develops on Rose, her past, and I can't go for Rose because that would be a great one to start on, and it's a brilliant start to New Who. But Father's Day probably comes second best, the best in terms of the stories that aren't the first episode from the era. So I would recommend for the casual viewer or new viewer to watch the Father's Day to get into the Eccleston era.
Okay, funny enough, because I love Father's Day, it's possibly, it's one that I really want to come up on the randomizer to watch again because I've only seen it the once. But I probably wouldn't recommend that one, I don't think. I think I would recommend Empty Child just because it's got such an edge to it. It's really creepy. And I think it would hook people in because the whole "Are you my mummy" thing is very memorable. You know how when people watched Doctor Who back in the first time it came out, and there was apparently quite soon afterwards there was people running around the playground pretending to be Daleks. You can imagine the "Are you my mummy" thing having that same sort of impact.
Yeah, but do you think our kids are in the playground playing Doctor Who anymore?
Probably not at the moment because I think it's not really for kids at the moment, but I think possibly they would have done back then.
Females can do it now as better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So 10th Doctor.
10th Doctor, I would have to go for the first episode I ever watched of Doctor Who, Human Nature, Family of Blood. Now, I might disagree on that choice, even though it's my choice, but, you know, I think it enticed me into Doctor Who. It's such a brilliant story. And although the Doctor isn't really the Doctor for the main chunk of the episode, it is one that enticed me into this wonderful show that, you know, so I don't know whether I don't know whether people would feel the same about that, but I would say that, but it's probably the wrong choice.
I don't know if it's the wrong choice. I mean, it's an odd one to me. And again, it's one that I really love. It's one of my favourite 10th Doctor stories. But I think by the fact that the Doctor isn't the Doctor for the big chunk of it, it doesn't perhaps give you an accurate representation of the Doctor as a character. I think if you were just trying to show someone that this is a great series, then I think it would be a good choice, because it is a really it's an episode that really pulls you in. But I would argue that Waters of Mars is a better 10th Doctor one to bring people in.
I almost went for Waters of Mars, but I decided that David Tennant's character's slightly different in that one, so I sort of thought it's not really the same mood as a lot of the David Tennant stories.
No, that is a fair point, actually. I think Tennant's Doctor is a lot darker by the Waters of Mars, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah. In fact, I actually quite like Tennant's Doctor by Waters of Mars, whereas, as you know, I'm not very keen on him generally before that.
Because he's foppish.
Because he's foppish, yes. So the 11th.
I would say, this may surprise you, it's not one of my favourites, but in terms of the mood of the era and the characters in it, the feel of it, it's just very Matt Smith era, and it's the Doctor's wife.
Okay, that is an interesting one, actually.
It's not one of my favourites, as you may know, and I need to give it a rewatch. I'm looking forward to when it comes up on the randomizer. But there are parts I really enjoy, and, you know, Idris is such an interesting character, and it lets you know more about the TARDIS, which is obviously one of the main concepts in Doctor Who history.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people really like this story, don't they? I mean, I've only seen it the once, and it's a little bit vague in my memory, so it's difficult for me to comment too much on it. I wasn't blown away with it. I've got a feeling this might be an episode like The Girl Who Waited was, where seeing it again is far better than it was the first time.
I would agree, yeah. What's your Smith episode?
I've gone for Vincent and the Doctor, because it's a really charming story.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
And I think people could. It'd be difficult to dislike Vincent and the Doctor because it's just so nice. It's got such an uplifting end to it. It's got quite a good monster in it. I think you could watch Vincent and the Doctor and not be a Doctor Who fan and still find it a charming story.
You can, yeah, because it does sum up a lot of the values from the Matt Smith era.
Yeah, definitely.
So for the Peter Capaldi era, I had no hesitation in doing this one, but Mummy on the Orient Express, because I think it sums up that era. It's quite a dark one. It's a kill-off story. We get to see Peter Capaldi at his best and be a very classic Who-style Doctor. And I do like the concept of the story. And I think it's one of the episodes in Doctor Who history that I would most recommend someone to watch to get into the show, because it's such a fantastic episode.
I think certainly for New Who, it's a real winner, isn't it? And I actually, no surprise, went for the same story. It's one of my favourite. It's one of my favourite Peter Capaldi stories, anyway. But it's got everything in it, hasn't it? Really, it's got the Doctor being the Doctor. It's got suspense. It's got a little bit of horror. Definitely a good one to recommend. It's really good pace to that story as well.
It is a brilliant pace. What story do you think would you recommend from Doctor Who history? Like, what do you think is the most recommendable story?
Overall, I think if I was to split that into two, and go for classic Who. What do I want to go for?
I'm going to go with Team of the Cybermen for mine.
I think I might go for Inferno, actually.
Brilliant one.
I think I'll go for Inferno. Modern Day Who. I want to say Mummy on the Orient Express, but I might say Vincent and the Doctor, actually.
Okay, I'm going to say Mummy on the Orient Express for that question.
Yeah. Sounds good. Excellent. Well, it'd be really interesting to hear what other people think about it, wouldn't they? So it'd be a good one to send out in your normal tweets, I would suggest.
Yes, I think so.
Good. So, yeah, unless there's anything else you wanted to add to it. I really liked that. It was a good article, Lou. Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, it was a good article. Yeah,
okay, so
interesting.
So what do we have next then?
So we're going to be reviewing another Peter Capaldi story this week, and we are going to be discussing Flatline. Flatline. So last week, the magic randomizer button picked out a Capaldi episode, the second Capaldi episode in the last couple of months.
Yep.
It shows us Flatline, and we watched it again. I think we both watched it again today, didn't we?
Yep, we did. It's one of these rare occasions where we weren't both watching it together, obviously. So, yeah.
Yes, but we both have hold of the episode. So.
Yeah. Do you want me to give my usual sort of roundup of it?
If you have one, please.
Okay, so really cracking start with this one. So Clara's basically, I mean, there's this sort of subplot that's been going on over the previous few episodes around the Doctor, Clara telling the Doctor that Danny, her boyfriend, is fine with everything, and really Danny obviously doesn't really know that she's still out and about with the Doctor, so she's leading this real double life, and they're having a discussion about that. She's obviously keen to get back for her lunch date with Danny, but instead they materialize in Bristol and they find that the TARDIS is having energy drain from it, and when they go outside of the TARDIS they find that it's actually shrunk.
Yes.
The Doctor goes back into it and it's shrinking ever more. A lot of the context in this, a lot of this story is based around Clara trying to do what the Doctor does. And because of the fact that he's got this issue with the TARDIS he has to solve, he sends Clara out to sort of investigate, giving her his sonic screwdriver and psychic paper and this earpiece that once it goes in sort of links to her nervous system so that he can actually sort of see, hear and communicate with her. And she's, to start with, she goes and has a little bit of a look around. She bumps into this interesting graffiti artist, Rigsy, goes back to the TARDIS again and finds that it's shrunk ever smaller. So with TARDIS in pocket, she heads back to try and explore a little bit more. Rigsy sort of telling her about the fact that there's this sort of mural of people that have mysteriously disappeared in this pedestrian tunnel, and the two of them together go to explore one of the places where somebody's gone missing from. In doing so, they get to this flat. There's a policewoman there. The three of them are sort of all looking around together, trying to find what could have happened to this missing person. And then they hear the sort of screams of the policewoman, and they find that she's been sort of sucked into the building.
Yes.
And this is what we're finding with the monsters here. Generally, these creatures basically are trying. They haven't yet fathomed 3D, 3 dimensions, and they're trying to sort of work out how things work in this universe of ours, and in doing so they're sort of sucking people into walls and etc. So basically with this one, the Doctor's effectively immobilized, isn't he? I mean, he's stuck. He can communicate to Clara, but it's very much about Clara trying to do what she thinks the Doctor would do to save the day, and she does that with the help of Rigsy and this bunch of trying to think of the phrase. People on sort of Okay. I'm trying to think what the phrase is. They're basically people that are, as a result of having done sort of petty crimes and things, they're doing sort of community service. That's what I was looking for. And between them and the train driver, they sort of like start to save the day. We find out that these creatures, they haven't got a name. The Doctor's never encountered them before, and right at the end, he entitles them the Boneless. That's probably a really poor description of the episode. It doesn't sound particularly enticing, but there we are. That's how I've explained it. What do you think of it?
So I like this one, actually. I really like this one, and it's probably not one of my favourites in the Peter Capaldi era. It's close, but it's not in the top 5 or anything. And I really like it. We get a development on Clara a bit more, and we focus on her a bit. And I really enjoy parts of this episode. It's a great concept, and it's a very enjoyable episode, like Mummy on the Orient Express, which is the episode before. So it's 2 corkers in a row written by the wonderful Jamie Matheson.
Yeah, I think, you sort of said it wouldn't make it into your top 5 Capaldi episodes. I haven't worked out what my top 5 Capaldi episodes are, but this wouldn't be far from it. And actually, we did a vidcast earlier in the week, didn't we, about stories that are better when you watch them a second time round. And actually, I think this one, I preferred this time round. I liked it last time. I've been looking forward to it coming up again, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Really liked it.
So, it was an interesting one.
Yeah. So, should we ask ourselves a question then?
Yeah. Here we go. Sorry for the sound.
Too bad. Too good, too bad.
Too good, too bad.
2 good things, 2 bad things about this episode. 2 good things. Do you want to start off then?
I like the idea of the boneless and the fact that people have been absorbed into the wars, and this idea, the ideas in the story of this 2D world, these 2D 2-dimensional aliens, and I quite enjoy the concept of this story, and I've always thought of it as very unique compared to any other Doctor Who story that we've had before. And I like the concept.
Yeah, no, I do very much so. Actually, I think the monsters in it are fantastic. That idea of them trying to get to grips with the 3-dimensional stuff. I love that. And it's funny, isn't it? They sort of explored this again a little bit in terms of the people being sucked into walls thing with the one of the ones in the most recent series, the horror-y one. I've got
not.
Yeah. My good is going to be it was a toss-up between the same one as you, actually, but I'm going to plump for Clara, because I actually think this is one of Clara's best episodes.
It is, yeah.
I really like her being let loose on her own. And I think it shows you that, although it's probably fair to say that the love for Clara wore off as the appearances went on ever longer, I think Clara as a hero character in her own right, you could quite easily do with Clara in the future what happened with Sarah Jane, of her having adventures of her own, because she's intelligent enough. She's probably one of the most intelligent companions the Doctor has ever had for a human.
Yeah, I think so.
And I like the whole context that she's trying to be like the Doctor, and he's cynical of it. And she's, in many ways, she's sort of taking the mickey out of him, isn't she, with some of the things that she comes out with?
Yeah.
So, Clara, this could actually be Clara's finest hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Clara's finest 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. There's a few contenders there. I think the Zygon 2-parter is probably a a contender as well. But I think she's really strong in this.
She is, yeah.
Too bad.
That's a very, very hard one.
It is.
I'm going to say some of the visuals of the episode, some of the sort of effects in the episode look a bit naff. I don't know whether you felt that. It's just they look a bit weird sometimes, and the graphics and the effects and the visuals aren't the best in this episode.
No, I think what they were trying to do was do the best they could on a relatively small budget to provide something which is very big budget, and they don't quite pull it off.
Yeah, they don't know.
But I don't think it really matters.
No, it doesn't really. It's just a minor error or tidbit, as you could say, that I would have, because there's not much bad about the story. No,
not at all. It is quite a difficult one to find too much to complain about. I've gone for the sonic screwdriver.
Okay.
Just because it's another case where, in the end, it's one of these ones where you're watching and you're thinking, how are they going to get out of this? And in the end, the Doctor comes out and blasts them with his sonic screwdriver.
That's what always happens.
And it does tend to have been a bit of a get out on too many occasions. Doesn't really bother me too much on this case, but it is a little bit of a cop out. But I think the story is just so good leading up to that, and the ending itself is good anyway. I've sort of very quickly bludgeoned my way past my bad to move on to another one of the goods, which that miserable git. I've forgotten his name now.
Benton or something.
Can't remember, but the fact that in the end he's not even that bothered that people died. You know, it's like they were all scum anyway. You know, I liked his views on it, and I really liked the way that the Doctor pointed out to Clara that people died, and it's probably the first inkling we really get of Clara beginning roots.
It is, yeah, and it shows that I think he says that some people deserve, some people like this Fenton or whatever he's called guy deserve to die, but they didn't, and unfortunately the people who didn't deserve to die pegged it.
Yeah, no, that's right. Some of them did bite the big one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Other things that you like about this? Anything else that you wanted to comment on that stand out?
I don't know. I do think the concept is the strongest part of the story, and I don't think it's as strong as Mummy on the Orient Express.
Not quite. No.
It's
closer.
It's close. What would you say? This or Oxygen?
I prefer this. This is probably my second favourite of Matheson's stories.
It's a very close one for me, but it might have to be this one, just very, very closely.
Yeah, and I really like it. It's really original. It's a very good story, and it really brings out the best of Capaldi as well, where he's, you know, sort of one part grumpy, one part quite entertaining. Actually, some of his one-liners in it are fantastic. And I'll tell you another really cracking scene, humour value. The scene when he does the Addams Family thing, you know, with moving the TARDIS along with his hand. I love that bit.
Yeah, it is a great bit, and it's a legendary moment.
When you went on about the effects, probably the poorest effect of it is the train when it's coming on. The train looks a bit naff.
Oh yeah, and then the train comes along again. And that gets repetitive.
Yeah, but it doesn't really bother me too much. We as Who fans, we're used to dodgy effects here and there, aren't we?
We are, yeah. It's not the great.
We've had 50 odd years of them.
Yeah, we have. But it's certainly improved as time's gone on.
Yeah, indeed. So, should we get onto the scores and things?
Yes, let's do the scores on the doors. So, monsters.
Really like these. I'm going to give these a 9, you know, because I just think they're really different.
Story.
I'm going to give the story a 9 as well.
Excitement.
I'm going to give excitement a 9.
Pace.
I'm going to give pace a 9.
And threat.
Do you know, I don't think it's not worthy of a 9 as an overall episode, but it's probably worthy of a 9 as a threat. Even though I've given it straight 9s, I think it's just happens to tick all of the right boxes.
Yeah, so you gave it possibly our highest score in such a long time, 45.
And I think it's probably you'll probably prove me wrong now by coming up with something that we've watched recently, but I think it's probably my favourite of the New Who episodes we've watched for some time.
I think it is, yeah. Just trying to think. I think it's probably the best one of the ones you've watched recently.
Yeah. Overall, as a story, I'm going to give it an 8.9.
Okay, I'm going to give this one an 8.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fair enough. Really enjoyed it, though. Really, very much so. And as I say, I think I possibly enjoyed it more than I did the first time.
Oh, did you? What would you rate it on the first watch?
I think I really liked it then as well, but I think I don't know why, because obviously it solved a lot of it, whereas the first time you watch it, it's always everything's fresh and new, but there's something about it seemed more enjoyable this time around.
Yeah, I would agree.
I did remember the first time I watched it, I found Rigsy a bit annoying, but I didn't this time.
Yeah, he's in Face the Raven as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I sort of grew to like his character a lot more, I think. So
yeah.
Okay.
Interesting one.
So, if we've run our way through Flatline, should we see what we're going to be watching next week by pressing the magic randomizer?
Let's press. Well, you can press the magic randomizer or ACE.
So, for people that don't know, and I'm sure pretty much everyone, if they bothered to listen to this podcast to this level, to this stage, they probably before heard of the magic randomizer. It's basically an Excel spreadsheet, every episode ever from Doctor Who in it. We've got a little macro. We press a button, and it will tell us what we will be watching next week, be it classic or new. And I'm going to press. I don't get to press it very often, do I? Usually do it. So
no, then you get there as well.
Okay, so here goes. I'm pressing the button now.
Yep.
Okay. I can't give you too many clues on it because I don't actually know. I think it's a Fourth Doctor episode.
Okay. Is it
I've got a feeling it might be a Key of Time one.
Okay.
But I'm not too sure. Yeah. I can't tell you any more clues, so I'm just going to tell you what it is.
Blood.
It is Nightmare of Eden.
Oh, okay. This is going to be intriguing because I can't really remember much about the story. It's not...
Is it a Key of Time one?
No, it's Romana 2.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's Tom Baker, isn't it? Yeah. So, so I don't know anything about the story at all. So I'll look forward for that.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So there we have it. So that's what we got. So what have we got on next week's show then?
So next week, let me look at my calendar of events of what we're going to do. We're going to be discussing the best ingredients that make a Doctor Who episode. So some of the things that you need to do to make a perfect Doctor Who episode.
Fantastic. That sounds good. And no doubt we'll be doing that in the style of Too Good, Too Bad.
Yep. You will, yeah.
It probably will.
Okay,
we'll be reviewing that episode that I think it's called Nightmare of Eden. I've forgotten the name already. Yep.
We will also be discussing the latest news and views, however light or heavy it may be.
And we will be pressing the magic randomizer together, hopefully, once again.
Yeah, hopefully.
So
hopefully I cover.
Let's hope so. How can people get hold of us?
You can get hold of us at Twitter at drwhotimeun, as in N space. And you can participate in polls and stuff like that.
Okay, we also have a Too Good, Too Bad Twitter address. We don't very often remember to post on it, but we do have it.
Yes. You can also tune in at Podomatic at Doctor Time and Space, as well as iTunes at that same address. And the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance, Miss Liz Moon at YouTube, and our website, misslizmoonadventures.weebly.com.
Fantastic. Well, it's been an interesting one. It's always interesting when we're not in the same room, but hopefully it hasn't taken away from the podcast too much and people have still enjoyed it.
Hopefully so. There have been a few
And
better.
that's probably it. I
Yeah.
I hope you're better soon, Lou.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Good stuff. I've been Dr. Cool.
I've been Lewis Moon. We will see you next time. Same time.
Same space.
Bye. Thanks.